Greetings, ambassadors, honorables, colleagues, and friends. This is a message to our webinar on sports and development. The UN observes today and invites all the member states to observe this day as a day that we should remember the importance of sports to our, to the development agenda. And you know that mainly in developing countries, this is an activity that is so strategic and important for the inclusion of youth, for the inclusion of, different groups of populations in society. Sometimes we see sports as something that it's not directly linked to sustainable development, but we need to change this narrative and see it as a strategic activity that really includes youth. I'm thinking about Africa, where the majority of the population are young adults. And I'm thinking as well at the same time on the importance of sports to prevent, for example, urban violence. That is an issue, a big issue in many parts of Africa, in many parts of Latin America, and other developed countries, right? Is to tell you that in this discussion of sports and development, one should not forget about the spirit of the young adults. They are so creative. They are the generation of creativity, the generation of entrepreneurship, right? So we more adults than them, we should listen to them instead of sometimes giving just the recipe, giving the solutions, but the solutions come from young adults. I was participating a few weeks ago on at the EU and African Union, European Union and African Union Summit, annual summit. And I was so, amazed by a young lady from Africa that told all of us that youth must be seen as a development partner. So this is really changing the narrative here. They just don't want us to bring all the solutions, but they want them to build the solutions with the diplomats, the social development specialists, etc., politicians, etc., etc. So it has to do with putting young adults, putting children at the center of the agenda, because this is so strategic. Another issue that I would like to share with you today has to do with the localization of the SDGs itself. We can see sports as a good strategy, a very smart strategy to localize the SDGs, because everybody loves sports. At least the majority of the population watch sports on television, go to stadiums, etc., or when there is street sports happening, you tend to just relax and see. So that sports can gather a huge number of people. So through it, you can advocate for whatever you want in sustainable development. So let's advocate for sports, and but it's something that costs leaders, politicians, but also organizations, donors. They need to put a budget for activities related to sports. So that is how we build development. And most of time we see it as an activity that is not that important that it should be. Sports as well, and nowadays we speak about mentoring, about coaching, etc. Remember that the first coaches at the history was the football coaches. So they taught us how to become a coach, development coach somehow. So this is something we should celebrate as well. Another issue has to do with the inclusion of women within the sports agenda, you know. It's so important and strategic as well. I suggest this group of HOPE and AHIABGA, but also the African Coach League and the organization of the Armo Williams organization and all the organizations that are gathering today to discuss sports and development. Let's create a pilot global project where through the approach of peer-to-peer education, we educate youth, you know, and youth can educate each other. They can educate on the through the peer-to-peer approach, how to how to be included into society, and sports are there to show that it is perfectly possible. We know so many, you know, people that came from slums areas around the world that became famous through sports, right? So this is to show you that sports has a powerful role in sustainable development and in the localization of it. So I celebrate what you are doing today. Unfortunately, I cannot attend it live because I have a last minute call for another activity. But I am there with you in spirit. You know, my soul is there, and you can count on all those. You can count on me. You can count on DEF 17 for us to create a global movement that really advocates for the importance of sports in the localization of the SDGs. It is important that the UN, you know, advocates, the UN observes this day because sports really transform life. Here we are talking about life transformation. We are talking about human rights. We are talking about peace. Sports can be an important and strategic tool to build peace. You know, now I'm thinking about the World Cup, the European Cup, the African Cup. You know, all these cups that are, you know, undertaken around the world. I'm thinking about the Paralympics and the Olympics. So sports is a huge and a very, you know, a strategic market where people can really feel happy. They can really feel the belonging to the society. So let's advocate for sports. I wish you a very interesting and important, this is an important day that we all celebrate and we all observe. And let's advocate with concrete, you know, activities and programs to foster the sports agenda at local levels. So thank you very much, and you can count on us to really accelerate this agenda. Thank you so much.